Spring has sprung, so that means it is time to clean up my bookshelves. I have been thinking about making this video for quite some time, so I'm so excited to just go through my bookshelves and ruthlessly unhaul books that I just do not want on my bookshelves anymore. What's really funny is, like, about a year ago, I was convinced that one day I was gonna have like 1,000 books in my collection, and although that can still happen, I am going to take my sweet time to get there. I don't want to have just any book on my bookshelf anymore. And I really, being transparent with you guys, I really didn't understand that when people would talk about that and be like, if I rated it lower than like a 3-star, or if I rated it a 2-star, I don't want it on my bookshelf. And I would always be like, what? No, like, why not own all the books that you read? And I don't know what happened, but my mindset completely changed, where now if I did not like a book, I'm going to get rid of it. I also don't want to hold on to any books that don't spark any excitement when I look at them, as well as books that I thought I was going to like, but my reading taste has just changed. I am so excited to just get started because I have been eyeing so many books in my collection that I was like, you've got to go. And I will explain my reasoning when we get to them. But without further ado, let's get to unhauling. The very first book I want to get rid of is Pumpkin Spice and Everything Nice. I really did not like this book. I read it this past fall. I think I rated it a 2-star. I felt that the FMC was bratty, and I don't even feel like this can be even classified as a romance. How little romance it even had. Yeah, so we're getting rid of this book. Okay, now we're gonna move you a little lower. Before We Were Strangers by Renee Carlino. I really, and I mean really, did not like this book. I did not like the MMC, or the like reasoning for their second chance was extremely irritating, and the MMC just said things that really rubbed me the wrong way. Honestly, we're gonna get rid of Hooked. You see, I feel like my bookshelves look so sad. It's okay. Hooked, I did not like. This is a dark romance. Dark romance is not my cup of tea. I definitely was like borderline, did I like it, did I not? Now that some time has gone by, I do not care to continue on with the series, and I do not care to read any dark romance for the rest of my life, so we're gonna get rid of it. It's like we're getting rid of the trash, but it's not. That's so mean. This feels so good. I love this little spring cleaning. These are all young adult books, and I am a huge fan of YA books, so all of these I do want to keep. 5 Survive is one that I'm a little iffy about. I don't remember what I rated it. I think it was like a 3.5, so for now I'll hold on to it. Now onto this shelf. I think all of these I will keep. This book is getting Pretty Privilege. I didn't like it, but look at how stunning it is. It might be ridiculous to only keep it because the cover is pretty, but I did buy the second book in the series, and I did like this one a lot more. This is Fall at Once by Nora Everly. I did like this one more. Also, the cover and the sprayed edges are gorgeous. So we are going to keep Fall I Want, especially because I do want to continue on with the series because they're all written by different authors. So even though I didn't like the first in the series, doesn't mean I won't like the other ones because they're written by different authors. Because I want to continue on with the series, I do want to collect the series as I'm reading them, so we're gonna keep it. This is where I'm going to ruthlessly unhaul books. I read Twisted Love by Anna Hong, and I really did not enjoy this book. I rated it a 2.5. Dark romance is not for me, as you heard me say with Hooked. So I am going to get rid of the entire Twisted series. And this is where I'm going to roast myself before you do. I'm aware that it was financially irresponsible to buy the entire series before you read the first book, because how do you know you're going to like the series if you haven't even read the first book? I've learned my lesson, and I also learned my lesson heavily later on in the shelves. I truly thought I was going to love the entire series because of how popular the books are on social media, and I did buy the entire Chestnut Spring series, and luckily with that series I've loved all of them, but it doesn't always work that way. And now I've learned that I'm not going to do that anymore, and I've had the urge to do so. And I am reminding myself of this scenario right here. The dark romance element, I hate. I'm someone that likes yearning and love. One that makes me feel like the romance that I'm reading is actually believable and healthy and mature, and I feel like this is not for me. I'm more of a contemporary romance type of girly. I don't know how else to say that I just really did not like this book enough that I do not want to continue on with the series. For the very last shelf here, I am going to get rid of Son of the Morning. Another book that I'm hesitant on getting rid of is Best Hex Ever by Nadia El Fassi. This is also getting pretty privileged and it's going to stay on my bookshelf. I thought the romance was lackluster, but the cover is just so pretty, so we're going to keep it. As for this book, Son of the Making, I'm not sure how to pronounce the author's name. When I first got this book from Afterlight, I was interested because it's something that I've never read about. It's like gods. I think one of the characters is from hell, and I've never read a book that's like that, and because I'm in like a sort of romance slump, I just felt intrigued by something that's different from what I've normally read. But now that some time has passed, I have not thought about this book once. It is unfortunate because it's such a pretty book, and it's hard to get rid of books that you paid like good money on because it was from a book subscription, but it's not enough to keep it. As for my middle shelf here, I'm not going to touch any of these, at least not in this video. Unfortunately, with this row here, there is two books that I did not like. It's Any Trope But You by Victoria Levine and Fan Service by Rosie Donan, but I can't get myself to get rid of both of these right now. It doesn't feel like the right time to get rid of those just yet. I think I'll think about it. I may get rid of them in another video. Just today, I just don't feel like parting with them just yet. On the very last shelf, I don't have anything, but on this one, it's my Chestnut Spring series. 1000% going to keep all of those because I love them. And then I have my To All the Boys I Loved Before that I will never, as well as these, ever get rid of those. Those are my children. We are going to do a huge unhaul here, and that is the Shatter Me series. I read Shatter Me about a month ago, 2 months ago, and I really, oh no, do I really did not like the first book. This is so, they're dusty. There's little cat hair on them. Oh my god. I read the first book, Shatter Me, and I thought that the romance was very cheesy and not believable, and I also felt like the dystopian aspect was lackluster. I did not like the writing. The entire story was just a really big disappointment. I have been going back and forth with this series for the past like 2 months. I think I read it in January and it's now April. I did start the second book and immediately I was like, yeah, no, this is just not for me. And I do not want to waste my time reading a book that I'm not giddy about. I also was going to start, I think it was Destroy Me, which is the novella right after Shatter Me, and I could not get myself to read the POV of the character. I hate that I bought an entire series and don't even want to continue with the series. Like, it's wasting money. Luckily, I did buy the entire set when it was like on a really good deal during the holidays a few years ago. I should have read the series at the ages of like 10 to like 13, because I think now as an adult, I just think it's very immature and I don't like it. And there is a part of me that, you know, the part of me that was excited about reading the story is still here. It's just that because the first one was such a disappointment, I'm like, I don't know if I should. I wish I would have just bought the first book, just bought Shatter Me, read it, and if I didn't like it, I would have left it at that. But I was impulsive and I bought the whole thing. Now onto the next shelf here. I am going to get rid of Carval by Stephanie Garber. I did not like this book, unfortunately, as well, because I really wanted to read this series before I jumped into the Once Upon a Broken Heart. This book wasn't for me, and it's a really popular book, so I know that if I put this in the mini library, someone is going to snatch this up real quick. Another series I'm going to get rid of is the ACOTAR series. But before you're like, holy shit, you bought another series and you're gonna get rid of it, no, I didn't buy these three. Oh, my camera's dying. Hold up. I bought some books from Target, and these three books showed up in that box, and I did not buy these books, and I got them anyway. So I did get this book 3 years ago maybe, and although the series is extremely popular, I mean extremely, like people who don't read are reading the ACOTAR series, I'm learning what type of fantasy books I like, which is cozy fantasy, and Heartless Hunter and Our Infinite Fates, Divine Rivals, those fantasy books I really like. But Fourth Wing isn't really my thing. I also feel like ACOTAR, not really gonna be my cup of tea. I also have heard that it's extremely spicy, and I don't really care for that. The only spicy books I have loved is the Elsie Silver books. Other than that, I'm not someone that tends to enjoy reading spice. I always feel like the spice is cringy and overdone. I'll read it, but it's not my favorite. On to this shelf. All of these, I'm getting rid of One Italian Summer by Rebecca Surley. There is cheating in this book. That's enough. Getting rid of it. Now, as for this shelf, I did DNF Beartown, but I feel like giving it a second chance. And I also did read, or like started to read and DNF'd The Tatami Galaxy, but this is another book that I'm gonna give it another shot before I get rid of it. Because this is about like a college student hurtling through 4 parallel realities to explore the what might have been and the what should never be. How cool does that sound? But I couldn't get into it, but I will try again. I believe all of these I am going to keep. Bunny, again, did pick it up, couldn't get into it, but I'm going to give another chance to it. The very last shelf here, I'm going to get rid of You Weren't Meant to Be Human. This had something in the book that was extremely disturbing, was very disgusting. Like, oh, I hated it. Like, I feel like you can have boundaries with books, and this crossed that boundary. Hated it, so unhauling this. Now, as for my book cart over here, I have been brainstorming this video for a few months now, and so I really have thought about a lot of these books. So if it feels like I'm just getting rid of them so easily, I've been contemplating them for a really long time. So I already know what books I'm going to be getting rid of, and that is Tomb Sweeping by Alexandria Chang. This is about multiple different mini stories. I didn't feel connected to the story or the characters. I am going to get rid of Addicted to You by Krista and Becca Ritchie. This is actually the first ever book I got during like my reading journey, so it's been years. I think I started reading when I was 20. I'm 24, so I've had this on my shelf for 4 years. I picked it up and started reading it when I had gotten the book, and I think I got just a few chapters in and I did not like how spicy it was immediately. Okay, I think that is all of them. Holy moly. I was completely unaware just how many books I had on my shelf that I did not care to own anymore. Let me count them. 26 books. This is your sign to get rid of books that you didn't like, books that you don't think you'll like, and books that you DNFed and don't think you'll give another chance to. That is all of the books that I unhauled in today's video. I feel like it's pretty safe to say that that was a very successful spring cleaning. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.